Okay. It's 6 p.m., October 27th, and I call this meeting to order. Call the meeting of the Clear Creek Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that its notice has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. And with that, we will get ready for a Pledge of Allegiance.
Y'all come on up. All right, wonderful. Here we go. Lots of friends. Okay, so there's the flag. So we're going to look that way. Okay. Do we have a leader that likes to lead out on the pledge? Yeah, I love it. There you go. Ready? Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you, and you may be seated. All right, team, no, y'all are going to help me here. We are going to, who's got the mission? Mission? Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So what we're going to do, we are going to open our meeting with our mission, vision, core values, and our beliefs, okay? So we are going to start with the mission.
The mission of Clear Creek Independent School District, the visionary leader igniting learning for all, is to ensure each student achieves, contributes, and leads with integrity in a safe and nurturing environment distinguished by authentic relationships, service before self, and the spirit of exploration.
Empowering every student with a world-class education that induces passions and fuels endeavors.
Catch a core value over here.
Caring, citizenship, fairness, respect, responsibility, trustworthiness.
Thank you so much. And finally, we are going to say our value statement. We're going to say it all together. Okay, are you ready?
People, purpose, promise.
Absolutely wonderful. All right, every one of these friends wants to share and lead. We are so excited. And is there, let's think, are y'all all in the same group at Falcon Pass? Or what is that group? Student Lighthouse. Okay, and can I find one person that didn't say, I know. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to come back here. Can you tell us what the Lighthouse does?
The Lighthouse helps the school and does fundraisers to earn money fundraisers and helps the school.
Anything else? Does the Lighthouse?
We do donations like can drives and other things, like we do the reindeer games, and it's really fun.
So you're raising money to donate to things, aren't you? Raising money to help people. One more.
We also help younger students. We also lead younger students to be leader and lead other people for generations and beyond.
Oh my, so you're like a mentor. That's outstanding. This is our Lighthouse Club, our Lighthouse team at Falcon Pass. Thank you so much for being leaders in your school and our district. Thank you. We're going to get a picture. All right, thank you. Falcon Pass Lighthouse team. Okay, now we can go sit. Thank you. Good job. Yes. I know.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, and you have a nice day. Thank you so much. Oh, they were so good. Okay, well, what a great way to open the meeting. And now we would like to celebrate our Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo champions. And I believe, are they outside? I believe so. Yeah, we saw them. Yes, that's great. All right, so we're going to give it just a minute to clear out. Awesome. All right. We've been our recognitions with students who earned top honors at the annual Pasadena Show and Livestock Show and Rodeo. We have several grand champions and reserve champions carrying their banners. Come on in. Congratulations. Grand champion Ag Mechanics, Benjamin Nesda of Clear Springs High School with his smoker pit trailer. Where is Benjamin? Raise your hand. Oh, nice. Okay. Reserve Grand Champion Ag Mechanic Stephen Ashby of Springs with his 26-foot gooseneck trailer. Good. There you go. Good. Congratulations, Stephen. Group Grand Champion Ag Mechanics Autumn Burton, Helena Rendon, Ben Smith, and Isabella Tripoli from Clearbrook High School for the 6x12-foot utility trailer. Raise your hand, team. Great job. Congrats. Reserve Grand Champion Goat, Ashlyn Ludecky from Clear Springs. Great job, Ashlyn. Reserve Grand Champion Goat Showman from Brooke Garms from Clear Creek. Brooke, there you go. And Reserve Champion Creative Arts Horticulture, Braden Dodd from Clearbrook. Congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause. So congrats to all our FFA students for their craftsmanship, teamwork, and dedication. We'll have the principals, FFA teachers, Miss Infantile, are you in here? Oh, yes. Y'all come on up. Wonderful. We're going to get a big picture here. Y'all step up. So I have a question. So if you were going to try, we've got freshmen and they're doing course selection, these 8th graders pretty quick. What is your elevator speech for why you should be in ag? Anybody want to share? Why would you encourage a freshman to be in ag? What are they going to learn? Oh, come on, guys. I know. Don't. No. Why would, yes.
I would tell a freshman to join an FFA class because FFA has a lot of opportunities and can really put you on the right path for your career and just in life in general. FFA has given me a lot, and I'm very grateful for my FFA chapter and all of y'all. All right, girls, what's the next?
One more?
I would say the same thing. It really opens up a lot of opportunities that otherwise people may not have seen. I think especially as a girl in agriculture or in stuff like ag mechanics, it's an opportunity for you to really stand out and try new things, because in high school that's the time to explore and get familiar with stuff like that.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much, and congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, we're moving from ag to music. Lots of talent. The Mark of Excellence in National Music Winners 2025. Next, we celebrate our talented music ensembles who earn national recognition and the prestigious Mark of Excellence Awards, a competition judged by nationally known adjudicators. We are first going to recognize Westbrook Intermediate Percussion Ensemble. Come on in. Next, Clear Creek High School Chamber Orchestra. Come on in. It's late here. Is Clear Lake High School Wind Ensemble here? I don't think they're, because they're marching. Because we have marching today because we couldn't have it on Saturday due to the weather. So our Clear Lake High School Wind Ensemble also earned the award, but they are marching right now. And do we have an update? Okay, Lake is in the finals, yes, along with Broken Falls. Woo! We were waiting for that. Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, so we are very excited about that. So they're not able to be here this evening. But out of 478 entries from across the U.S., these ensembles were named national winners. Congratulations to our musicians and their directors for setting the bar high. And do we have principals up here too? Yes, Ms. Cooper, come on up. Ms. Orr. Yeah, lots of celebration. Thank y'all so much. Yes, Ms. Albert, come on up. Good, good, good. Okay, now I have a question for Ms. Albert, all right? I know. She's like, wait a minute. But, just wondering and thinking about success of ensembles and this is really unique. And could you kind of just shed a little bit of light on what causes a success for an ensemble versus individual? Or we can pass the mic to one of these guys too. It's up to you. Yeah, but you can.
Pass it off to the experts. It truly speaks to the directors because they gather those kids together and they allow those kids that opportunity to work as a group. But then it also comes into play when those kids are willing to put in that extra work, because it's not just your normal everyday course. It's a lot of after school, summer work, coming in and recording. So it's truly a group effort from those directors and all those students putting in all that extra time.
Thank y'all. And anybody else, students, do you want to share what kind of helps? What do you think is the success? What creates a successful ensemble? Yeah, I heard it. Somebody want to share? Man, we can play the instrument. Yeah, that's right. That's good. But yeah, and I will let
Sure. The basis of their success does boil down to teamwork. A lot of the students you see up here are the leaders in their ensembles, and that's what kind of comes out of this ensemble work is it does let the leaders rise to the surface rather, and that gives them the skills that they need to go forward with life, whatever they decide to do outside of our ensembles. They've worked really hard on this, and it's a great honor that we share this with all of our district high schools and intermediates.
Well said. Thank you all so much. Congratulations. Thank you. Leaders. I know. We moved from music to art. And so I just asked Ms. Albert to stay. Texas Art Education Association's 2025 Tex EdCon exhibition. And art speaks volumes, and our students' creativity was on full display at the Texas Art Education Association's 2025 Tex EdCon exhibition held at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. The following students' artwork was selected to be on display during the conference, which drew school board and school administrators from across Texas. And I'll go ahead and introduce Lillian Brooks, Clearbrook High School. Oh, that's probably not Lillian. Okay, I'm going to find Lil. Okay. Would that be Riley Halliday, Clear Lake City Elementary? Yay. We're going to give you that. Emily Joseph, Clearbrook High School. May Thomason, League City Intermediate. And Min Tran, Clear Lake High School. Come in. Okay, no, stay up here. Yes, and any other teachers, principals, anybody? Yes, come on up, absolutely. All about the picture, that's wonderful, yes. Teachers. Okay. Oh, whoa. We are all about that. Okay. So can y'all share kind of what inspired your piece, your art piece? Do you want to tell us about it? No, that's okay.
Okay. My art piece was actually created like 2 years ago. It was at that time the biggest art piece I made, which was about 2 feet tall and then a feet wide. Currently, I'm working life size now, but I think it was inspired by religious artworks that I had learned from art history and also my own kind of struggle with accepting like my grades and who I am and, you know, just general teen angst. And yeah, it's just a piece that was very like therapeutic for me, and I think it represents a pretty big part of who I am.
Wow. Anybody else?
I'm okay.
Okay. Well said. And we are so inspired by what y'all are doing. And like all of us got to see your artwork there. We took lots of pictures too. So it was very exciting to see the artwork on display. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank y'all and congratulations. And also Tassa Tasby exhibit of school architecture. We have another celebration. The recognition of our district's commitment to innovative learning environments. Clearview High School's rebuild design was honored with the Stars of Distinction in the TASA 2526 exhibit of school architecture. And we have some of those amazing people here. This award highlights excellence in design, community planning, and transformation. And we would like to thank our CCISD facilities team and our partners at PBK for making Clearview High School a place where students and staff feel welcome. And do we have a principal here? We have the architecture team, and I'm going to let Mr. Miller introduce our team.
Thank you. So this amazing team really worked very hard to create a vision and implement a vision for one of our most recent rebuilds, which is an amazing facility over at Clearview High School. First, I would like to introduce you to Lisa Lake, our Clear Creek project manager that took that project from beginning all the way to completion. Unfortunately, we lost her to retirement this past summer. Then we've got Greg Prince with PBK Architects, along with Guillermo Vio and Jason Mai with PBK Architects. They, of course, this whole group worked hard. And then couldn't be without Anna Davila. She's with HKS, is that right? Architecture. And so she's no longer with PBK, but she was instrumental in getting this project completed. So I want to tell you all thank you and congratulations on an amazing facility. Well, so Monica got to sit through all of the processes that we did and go through the rebuild of the school. So thank you, Monica, for leading that team too. So thank y'all.
What are we doing? Thank y'all so much. We won't make you talk. I know. Thank you so much. It's beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah. So exciting. Okay. Okay, and finally, we recognize the importance of health and prevention. National Red Ribbon Week will be observed from October 22nd to October 31st, 2025, promoting drug-free lifestyles and healthy choices. The proclamation we will sign tonight emphasizes Clear Creek ISD's commitment to drug education and asks all teachers, staff, and parents to support Red Ribbon Week through activities or simply to wear the red ribbon. And thank y'all for providing that for us. We extend our gratitude to the CCISD Alliance staff and volunteers for their continued partnership in this vital initiative. And everyone here from the Alliance, please stand. Okay. And Leslie Tracy, come on up, Director of the CCISD Alliance. She's here to provide an update on the group's numerous efforts to keep children safe from drugs and alcohol. Thank you.
Okay, it's green. Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity tonight to share with you some of the highlights of the work of our department. As many of you know, the Bay Area Alliance is a grant-funded department of Clear Creek ISD focused on substance use prevention and behavioral health promotion. A little bit of history. We began in CCISD a little over 20 years ago in October of 2003 with a drug-free communities grant from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. In 2013, we began receiving funding from Texas Health and Human Services Commission, which allowed us to continue our community coalition. Then in 2019, expanded funding from Texas Health and Human Services Commission launched our first youth prevention program, growing our team to 6 CCISD staff members. And in this last year, in 2024, HHSC renewed our funding yet again and expanded it to 2 community coalition partnerships and 3 youth prevention programs. And that is a grant of a little over $5.2 million over 5 years. With these 4 main components, like we said, the community coalition partnership, and then the 3 youth prevention pieces, each of those with its own targeted population of students. I'll tell you a little bit more about those in just a moment. But talking first about our community coalition partnership, The goal of a community coalition partnership is to create communities that foster behavioral health and wellness and address environmental factors that lead to substance use. It's also just to increase awareness in the community regarding that substance use. The strategic focus areas of our Clear Creek Community Coalition are to increase social and community connectedness and reduce youth access to substances. We support Red Ribbon Week here in Clear Creek ISD by providing red ribbons and stickers to all CCISD elementary campuses, as well as custom red bracelets for all the secondary campuses. For example, Clear Lake High School Falcons received wristbands that say, Falcons choose to be drug-free. We also host resource tables as well as educational presentations in many of the campuses. Some of our other projects of our coalition are SALSA, which is our student leadership program at Clearview High School. Prevention Starts with Connection is a selfie station project that fosters connection at community events. Medication Take Back Day, which was just this past October, over the last 10 years has collected over 38,000 pounds of medications from the community for safe disposal. And this past summer, we hosted a school nurse summit in partnership with Clear Creek ISD Health Services Department, the proceeds from which purchased a health screening tool or a vision screening tool for CCISD Health Services Department. And we're also going to be receiving an award at Region 4 for student safety. So those youth prevention pieces that I talked about earlier, there are 3 different ones: youth prevention indicated, youth prevention selective, and youth prevention universal, and they all have different target populations. The goal of those youth prevention programs is to address health and wellness for youth and families and communities by enhancing protective factors for those students and reducing risk factors through evidence-based education and skills training. We do that through prevention education groups, presentations, and positive alternative activities. For our youth prevention indicated group, the curriculum we use is called curriculum-based support group. And this curriculum is for students who have demonstrated a need for additional support. We work with the counseling department to identify those students. It's open to students of all grade levels, K through 12, and open to all CCISD campuses. Our youth prevention selective program uses the positive action curriculum, and it is in 8th grade during college and career readiness classes on intermediate campuses. Our youth prevention universal program uses the life skills curriculum, and we implement that through 5th grade PE. We worked with the CCISD Elementary PE Council to create movement-based activities to go along with the lessons to keep those kids moving during their PE activities. We also provide presentations to students. We have partnered with 6th grade Launch this year to do presentations for their for 6th grade Launch that aligns with their Leader in Me units 4 times throughout the school year at each CCISD campus or each CCISD intermediate campus. We also do vaping prevention presentations, stress and healthy coping skills, presentations about making healthy choices, about healthy cell phone use and social media. We also partner with PTAs and other campuses for parent engagement opportunities to provide presentations to parents as well. Lastly, our Youth Prevention Positive Alternative Initiative provides fun opportunities for students to engage in activities to build skills and to connect with other students. We do that through resource fairs, through student clubs, campus engagement activities like homecoming carnivals. We help with Clearview High School prom. We have Clear Path student support that we provide, and this is also open to families and to parents and family engagement nights as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity to spotlight our program a little bit. As you can see, we are a team of 12 and we're small but mighty, and we focus on building resilience in students and in the community of Clear Creek ISD. But I have two of my staff members here with me today. Lorraine Pinniger is our Clear Creek Community Coalition Specialist, and Veronica Maines is our service specialist who runs the Clearview High School Salsa program. So I thank them for their efforts, and I thank you for the time tonight. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you very much for being here. I'll open up if anybody wants to chime in and say anything. Go ahead. Yes.
I just would like to thank you for the work that you and the team are doing across so many of our campuses. Our students come to us, we know, to learn, but we know that they come from various communities and environments. And so it's helpful for them to know that they can have conversations, that they can learn about things that they may be exposed to differently at home, but we know are so important to their overall development and achievement in school. So I know today we celebrate Red Ribbon Week and we draw a lot of attention to that, but I think what you've shown here today, especially when it's tied to evidence-based instruction and practices, really reinforces everything that we do from Leader in Me to instructional excellence. And when we focus on a world-class education, I think the elements that you're focusing on is really key for so many of our students. And so thanks to you and to the team that have been doing this. It's not always visible to many people, but thank you for working with PTAs and for working with the campuses.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Sanchez. Anybody else? No? He stole the words out of my mouth. Said it better than I probably could. But yes, thank you to you and the team and everybody who's not here with us tonight that is part of the Alliance. We talk about wraparound services within for the students and around the district, and y'all definitely help fill in a lot of those gaps that we're not able to fulfill. So we appreciate it very much and keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You also have a little bag on your place with a Red Ribbon Week t-shirt for you to keep.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank y'all. All right. So next up is our community input portion. The purpose of community input is for the entire board to receive feedback from citizens. The board will hear the public comments, but will not respond, except as authorized by the Texas Open Meeting Act. Matters brought forth that require a response will be addressed by the superintendent as appropriate. Community input is scheduled for 30 minutes and has 2 forums. Those requesting to address the board regarding items on the board agenda are granted up to 3 minutes to address their topics, and those who sign up to address items not on the board agenda are granted 1 minute. On behalf of the board, the superintendent, and CCSD staff, we welcome your input during CCSD school board meetings. We request that everyone exhibit the respect and understanding each person deserves when addressing the school board during the public input portion of the meeting. And with that, first up is Ms. Paige Rander.
Good evening, Dr. Engel, Mr. President, board members. My name is Paige Rander. I'm representing the Association of Former Board Trustees, Clear Creek ISD Chapter, and joining me tonight is Miss Ann Hammond. We're here for the first of probably many local community recognitions for Vicki Wright, the 2026 Texas Teacher of the Year. And our resolution to her is of congratulations and appreciation. Whereas the Texas Association of School Administrators announced Vicki Wright as the 2026 Teacher of the Year and as Texas's representative at the National Teacher of the Year competition to represent Texas's 375,000 public school teachers across 1,200 school districts, and whereas Ms. Wright, a 14-year veteran teacher and a team lead at Clear Creek ISD's McWhirter Elementary School, has been recognized with the state's highest honor, and whereas Ms. Wright was first named CCISD Teacher of the Year, then became the regional honoree, then one of only 6 finalists to be interviewed by an independent panel of educators, community and business leaders, a state board for educator certification member, a state board of education member, and prior Texas Teachers of the Year. And whereas Ms. Wright is a national board certified educator holding a BA in education and a Master of Education in Reading from Benedictine University, and an Education Specialist Certificate in Educational Leadership from Concordia University, Chicago. And whereas Ms. Wright's commitment to fostering learning and leadership for students and educators is exemplified in the classroom and beyond by her extracurricular initiatives such as mentoring, student council, and volunteering with the Clear Creek Education Foundation and other philanthropic organizations. Therefore, be it resolved that the Association of Former Board of Trustees congratulates Texas Teacher of the Year, Vicki Wright, and we offer our heartfelt appreciation for her passion for student success, her being a role model for us all to emulate, and for her dedication to public education. Adopted October 2025 and signed by our members. I'd also like to add that I believe I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that Ms. Wright is definitely a caring teacher, and you'll see that in the video later this evening. And she does definitely exemplify people, purpose, and passion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rander. All right. Next up, Mr. Thomas Davis.
Good evening. In ratedbooks.org, an American middle schooler named Megan describes the actual effect of explicit school library material on her relationship with her mother and on her life. If time permitted, I would play it for you. Please have a look. ratedbooks.org. As we all know, parents of students aged 17 and younger can now personalize their child's library experience by deselecting materials that don't align with their family's preferences. Unfortunately, the days of rubber stamping books approved by the American Library Association and the Scholastic Book Company are behind us because those organizations no longer completely follow appropriate decency standards that would protect the Megans of the K-12 world. Let's approve their high-quality offerings, which can be trusted perhaps 98% of the time, but let's be vigilant about the other 2%. In the November library materials acquisition list, there are 1,155 unique titles under consideration, and the review period ends Friday, November 14th, 2025. The related board meeting date of November 17th is a week before the monthly regular meeting on November 24th. I call on any interested residents of CCISD to review any or all of the 17 books, about 2%, on the November list that were written by Nick Brule, Eric Carl, Walter Dean Myers, Dave Pilkey, Rebecca Rowell, Lane Smith, Mariko Tamaki, Raina Telgemeier, or Angie Thomas, and submit any necessary library materials review forms to the Library Materials Advisory Council if it yet exists. It appears that the board will be voting on this list on November 17th. So why is this necessary? There have been numerous challenges to explicit and otherwise age-inappropriate books for decades. In the early years of book challenges, many well-respected books, including the Bible, were included on the challenge lists, likely with the purpose to rebrand common sense discretion as if it were censorship. So what about Megan's distant peers here in our own district? As I mentioned a moment ago, among November's many titles, I was able to locate the above 17 titles by the above 9 authors who have been frequently challenged for other explicit or age-inappropriate titles in the past. Please have an open-minded but discerning look for the sake of parental authority, teacher pedagogy, and the future of our boys and girls. Again, ratedbooks.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, next up, Mr. Michael Harson.
Good evening. My name is Michael Harson, speaking on agenda item 8A17, the consideration of approval for changes to the intra-district transfer policy. My daughter Lily's situation is a case study of the harm this policy change would perpetuate. A transfer was processed for her that violated a court order. By eliminating the very oversights that should catch such errors, the district is creating a system where similar inappropriate placements become even harder to challenge. 4 weeks ago, I sat here and detailed my daughter's educational crisis. Your continued inaction has been a green light for continued neglect. The parent you have chosen to support has taken my daughter to school only once in the last 9 weeks. She now has 19 unexcused absences that are actively failing her freshman year. Meanwhile, her mother blames the child for these absences, and when you support her position, you endorse that blame. Yet for the last 2 solid weeks in my care, and every day in my care this last year, my daughter has arrived at school on time every single day. The child's fault? I don't think so. You now have documented record of failure under one parent and success under another. You are choosing which one to support. The titles of custodial or non-custodial parent are irrelevant here. Only one title matters: student. And it is a student you are failing. CCISD is complicit in violating a court order that mandates my daughter attend the high school that feeds from Bayside Intermediate, Clear Falls High School, not Clearview High School. You claim that there are 3 feeder schools from Bayside, but when challenged, your own staff admitted in writing that there is no such document to officially support that claim. And while you consider removing the requirements, transfer procedures, and oversight that ensure accountability, you are creating a system where you can't be held to a standard you refuse to meet. In the meantime, you are ignoring your own policy, which states a transfer may be revoked for a documented pattern of poor attendance. 18 absences, 3 missed first periods, and a tardy in the first 9 weeks isn't only a pattern, it's a dumpster fire. And your policy gives you the power to put it out. Let's read your policy together. A transfer may be revoked when the principal establishes that a student has failed to be punctual, including a documented pattern of late arrivals, late pickups, and/or poor attendance. A principal would not need to establish a pattern here, they would just need to count. 19 absences is 19 pieces of evidence. Your refusal to act is a choice to ignore your own rules. Let me be perfectly clear. To continue doing nothing is no longer a passive oversight. It is an active decision to violate a court order, and it is a conscious choice to be complicit in the educational neglect of my daughter. I demand you stop hiding behind interpretations and start following the law. Immediately enroll Lily in her lawful, rightful school, Clear Falls High School. Stop ignoring the evidence. Stop ignoring your duty. No more excuses. Protect my daughter. Do your job.
Thank you, Mr. Harson. Next up, Mr. Ronald Page.
I would like to talk primarily about improving academic performance in Clear Creek Independent School District. My name is Ron Page. I'm an engineer by degree and instinct, and for 11 years, I taught AP Calculus and AP Statistics at Clearbrook High School in Friendswood. Yes, Friendswood, remember that. My focus of attention for improving the performance is 1, high school start time, and 2, Thursday night football games. For those that study the impact of later high school start times, the impacts are clear. A later high school start time leads to measurably better academic performance, as well as measurably better physical and mental health. Those results are undisputed. As a former teacher of academic high performers, I have firsthand experience with the impact of Thursday night football games. Let's consider a Thursday night football game schedule for the hundreds of players, band members, dancers, cheerleaders, color guard, trainers, and audio-video tech students with a typical Thursday kickoff time of 6 p.m. Their school day begins in class at 7:20 a.m. until 2:30 p.m., whereupon
Mr. Page.
Practice and or prep for the evening game begins.
Mr. Page.
I don't know how the students get fed.
Mr.
And you're
Page.
telling me my time's up?
Yes, sir. If you would like to hand that off to the lady behind you, and she can share it with us.
What
Thank
do you
you.
want me to do?
Right behind you, Greta.
Oh, okay. Well, man, here's my punchline.
Thank you, Mr. Page. All right. Next up, we have our district update.
Okay, well, we are incredibly proud and honored to be home to the top teacher in Texas. And thank you for naming that earlier, Ms. Rander. It was a great surprise for Vicki Wright from McWhorter Elementary last week when the Texas Association of School Administrators recognized Ms. Wright for the impact she's had on the lives of her students. Here is a video which was played during the ceremony.
My philosophy of teaching is deeply rooted in this idea that you can't have a student's head until you have their heart. I really think that taking the time to get to know your students very well really sets up the rest of the school year for you. I don't set limits or boundaries on what my students can know because I'm taking this time to get to know them, their interests, and then I am reflecting and shaping my teaching to fit their needs. One of my career highlights was attending the Harvard School of Education, in which I got to see leadership in action. Another impactful experiences was actually earning a national board certification. I remember having my newborn in one arm and I'm typing with the other hand to finish up the last parts and get everything done and submitted in. Completing the national board process made me step back and really reflect on and how am I best meeting the needs of my students. Now I get to pay it forward in a way through the national board process, helping other teachers find their why.
Miss Wright, she motivates me in all of my work. It's just like a really happy vibe. For recess one day, me and Elise were just looking in the tree and then we found these cool cicada shells. And then Miss Wright, well, why not we make a little collection? And then she gave us this little thing, then we can look at them and study them. She lets us explore what we also want, not just what she wants.
Personally, I like her personality and how kind she always is. What makes her a good teacher is that she loves to motivate us and teaching us in different ways. When I come to school, I always think she will be able to help me learn and do everything I'm not the best at, so I can get better and better at it.
I like her energy. She acts like she's a part of us. Last year, I was very low in my grades, and now I feel like I'm getting stronger with her. Every time we are having a little hard time, she always tells us we could do this. Like, she always gives us an easier way to do it.
Well, to me, she already is a superhero because her power is kindness. But if she was like a superhero, her superpower would be duplicate herself.
Kindness and joyful, because she loves to fill our hearts with joy and funniness.
I think she'd be able to stretch because her energy is like wide.
So when I think about my why, this is my why. It started off with one signature of a student just giving some encouragement, and now it is a folder just filled with love and support. So when I think about my why and why, I think about my students, and this is my why. We do what we do because we love the kids. Together, we can continue to create, innovate, and build these future leaders.
We love you, Miss Wright.
So we'll have more opportunities to celebrate Ms. Wright in the upcoming weeks, and she will now represent Texas in the national search for the Teacher of the Year. So another exciting thing we have is our Discover CCISD campaign. It's well underway. This effort is to bring awareness to our world-class programs and schools to those who live within our district and do not have their children enrolled in CCISD, and to those outside of our district who are interested in attending a CCISD school. We kicked off this effort with district-level webinars on topics from tuition-based pre-K to career and technical education. We've had more than 150 people register for webinars, and the first 2 weeks in November, each elementary will offer tours of their schools. The window to apply for the 26-27 school year is from December 1st through January the 23rd. A lot of student activities also right now. It's an exciting season for student athletes and performers. On Friday, we sent off the Clear Creek High School boys water polo team for a repeat state championship. They were victorious over Borney, am I right? Yes, Bernie, champion on Friday afternoon, and went on to beat Louisville Hebron 17-15 on Saturday to bring home the UIL Boys 6A Water Polo State Championship for the second year in a row. And we'll celebrate the state championship team during the board meeting in November. And while we speak, all 5 of our high school marching bands received straight ones and advanced to the area marching contest being held today. And I'm proud to announce that we just did that 3 of our marching bands, Clear Brook, Clear Lake, and Clear Falls, are performing currently in the finals. And of the 10 teams in the finals, we have 3 and 5 move on to state. So our odds are very good, and we're very excited about that. So we are cheering for our Wolverines, our Falcons, and our Knights as we speak. So that's our district update.
Wonderful news. So much wonderful things going on. So thank you, Dr. Engel. Next item is our consent agenda. Are there any items anybody would like to pull?
Yeah, if you would, I would like to just pull the monthly financial statement. I just have a couple quick comments on it. We'll
Okay.
get to it.
Number 4.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to pull number 8. Anything else? All right, go ahead.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented, minus item 4 and item 8.
Thank you, Trustee Sanchez. And any other discussion? No? All in favor, please raise your right hand. And no opposed. All right. So first up, the financial statement.
Yeah, and I don't want to take up too much of our time on this, but I noticed going through that, in terms of expenditures, we were compared to peer school districts across Texas. These are large districts about our size with similar, roughly similar demographics and similar outcomes. And I could not help but notice that of the 10, our expenditures were second highest in the area of curricula. Now, I know we've put tremendous amount of effort into developing curricula because we believe it is a driver of student performance and student outcome. And I don't think it can really be addressed here, although if anybody would like to, I'd be willing to listen, but I think it's too large a topic. And really, I would just like some assurance that we, especially since we're spending roughly 2.5 times per student as much as a couple of these other districts, that we're getting our bang for our buck. And I think we are, but maybe that's something we could discuss in a little more detail sometime down the road.
Yeah, so we can definitely, elaborate on that, certainly. And I know Ms. Benzai can address some of that spending, but like you said, it's a pretty large topic, and we absolutely will do that. Thank you.
That being the case, I would like to move that we approve agenda item number 8A4, the acceptance of the monthly financial statement.
Thanks, Trustee Larson. All right, motion's been made. Any other discussion? No? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right. No opposed? All right, thank you. All right, so item 8, I asked to pull the approval of the library materials. If we could possibly have Ms. Farrell provide some background on the process. You know, this is kind of a relatively new thing for everybody. And so if you can offer some background perspective, how we got here and why we would consider approving this.
So thank you for having us. We're right in the middle of Books Alive prep today, so this is a perfect day. If you're not coming to Books Alive Saturday, put it on your. I'm doing a little shout out to Books Alive, our elementary reading festival this Saturday. So we've had some changes over the last couple years with how we go about procuring and dealing with library materials. So we just want to take a very quick minute to review where we've been and where we're going. So we've recently received the TEA reconsideration form that the entire state uses for materials that are in a library collection. So if we own it and there is a possibility that needs to be reconsidered for a reason, then everybody across the state uses the same form, and then there's procedures and policies that we have in place to support what that action would look like after that point in time. So we have that form available to us if we run into, a situation where we need to look at something. Our checkout systems have the capabilities for parents to make selections that best fit for their child. We still also encourage parents to reach out to librarians. I had a great conversation with a parent just a couple weeks ago where she wanted her child to read more challenging. She felt like she was stuck in a specific author, and she wanted her child to stretch a little bit. And so we still want to have those conversations with parents where they're reaching out to the campus librarian and talking with them about what they want for their child. But then there's also systems in place now for them to be able to do that. The procurement process is new to us. This is our second time coming to the board with our second list, and we'll have one more list in November, and then we'll come back 3 times in the spring, and then we'll probably come back over the summer with some pre-planning and some thoughts with the team for next school year so that we can smooth out the process a little bit. This is a new process, and so we're working through the process of how this goes. I think it's important, and I know you guys know this, but I like reminding people that Clear Creek ISD has chosen to invest in certified credentialed librarians. That is a huge part of the process. We have team members who are professionally trained on collection development, and that's something that we put a lot of effort into, and it's important, I think, for our families and our community and our kiddos that we have people who are professionally trained in this work. So we have spent a lot of time this year looking at how we review processes to make sure that we're going forward with our best foot forward. Librarians have always looked at circulation data. They've done readers advisory with kiddos. They've worked with teachers. They've gone to professional trainings. They read lots of professional reviews from a variety of sources. They use systems that contain book data. And then this year, we've added additional professional learning time to support our librarians through this new process. So we've dedicated some IP time to New Book and that curation process. And then we've also added optional days where if the team feels like they need extra support to make sure that we're going through the process the way we need to, then we have some extra days built into the PL calendar to support that. And as we're moving through this process, we're posting on the website the list. There's a library materials review form that if there's somebody who wants to, put comments in, then what would happen is that review form would come to the library department office. Dr. Stallings and I would notify Dr. Engel if we receive any comments that we need to look at. We'll do some further in-depth look at those materials. We'll let you know what the reviews say, what's our thinking with those materials, and then we'd make sure that we're keeping you in the loop in the process of moving those forwards or doing an even deeper dive into them. So we are making sure that we've got some procedures, some internal procedures in place to relook at things if we need to do that. And so I think it's just, as we're moving through this process, we're doing the very best job that we can with making sure. We've always taken very seriously the book selection process, but we're even doing so more now. And so we wanted to just give you a very quick update of what it's looking like at this point in time, since it is so new to everybody.
All right. Hey, does anybody have any other questions or anything?
Yeah. So this process is new this year, and I believe it came from some legislation that was passed this last session. But I want to say protest. Protest is not the right word. The process for reviewing a book and complaining about it and making that known to the district. That's my understanding is that's not a new process. And so I'm just kind of curious. We earlier we heard a list of authors that have had protests or complaints or whatever you want to call them elsewhere. I was kind of curious how many of these kind of complaints has CCISD heard within the last year? Do you have a handle on that?
So we have the reconsideration process, which is our process for materials that are already in the district. And then the procurement process of going to the school board is brand new this school year. So two little bit different things. We have parents who always are going to reach out and say they don't want their child to read certain things. And we absolutely respect that. We want to honor that. We do our very best to make sure that we are, working with that parent and their family. As far as across the board, we haven't had yet any who have submitted the form for the procurement part of this process. So we don't have any yet. There is, I don't want to say a misunderstanding, but a lot of books that are challenged when they go through the official process for the reconsideration. There is lots of times where the material is retained. So just because it's challenged doesn't necessarily mean that the final result is that it is pulled. At that point in time, it goes through the process, and we go through that with the reconsideration. With the procurement, we're going to be careful. We're going to, have teams look at things. We're going to notify you if we get any of those forms completed, and then we'll work through that process of anything that we've got. At this point in time, we have not received any.
And may I ask about how many, I could probably look this up, but how many books were, we've gone through this once this year, right? And do you recall about how many books were in the previous procurement under consideration?
So last year we added about 25,000 titles. The first go round we had about 4,000, and then we're getting a little bit less, about 1,000 or so roughly each time. I would imagine we pick back up a little bit in January, and then by March we would have, but we do add about 25,000 titles a year to the libraries.
So we've had this year, since this new law is taken into effect, about 4,000 titles then.
Yes.
And zero response from the community about, okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And my follow-up is just a little bit more detail and clarification about the process. We put the list out there. We put it out for the community, give everybody the opportunity to say something. Once it is out there, I don't think you mentioned, but I think most of us know 30 days, right?
Yes, sir. There's a 30-day review period that's per SB 13. So that's the review period, and we have 30 days. Community has 30 days to fill out the form, and then we take action on the forms. If we get the forms filled out earlier than the 30 days, then we'd notify as soon as we have the forms and then start working on the action through with that at that time. We wouldn't wait till the 30 days was up.
Great. Okay. Yep. Yes.
And Ms. Farrell, of the 25,000, additions, and I know this is hard to do, but what's the breakdown between elementary, intermediate, and high school?
Ooh, I would be telling a fib right now. I'd have to get that back to you. We have some crossover with, fifth graders like to read stuff that sixth graders like to read, and eighth
Correct.
graders like to read stuff that ninth graders read. So some of the titles that we have crosses over. Harry Potter is a perfect example. We have a crossover there. We have, quite a few bits of crossover, but I can get that and get it to you. And let you
Correct.
know.
Well,
All right. And if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and make that motion. So make the motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation that the board approve the list of proposed new library materials. And is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. No opposed. Thank you, Ms. Farrow. And great plug for your Books Alive. All right, thank you. Okay, so next up we have our transportation facility and transportation projects.
Yeah, Mr. Miller will provide some information for you to consider the approval of the use of capital project funds for facility and transportation related projects, and he'll explain those projects to you.
So Alex So the first item that we have that we're requesting funds for the $350,000 Boston 23 savings and interest. It's for a software package for years, including implementation. And it's part of the
Turn your mic.
Okay, is that better? Can y'all hear me? Bring it closer. Okay. So, as I mentioned, so that's the 5 year of the Brightly software, which is a parent company of the School Dude software that we've had for many years. This is a new product that will allow us to do long-range planning. It'll integrate with all of the assessments that we're doing currently out at every campus. Allows us to age each individual component of a building, and then tie that to our maintenance software that'll allow us to do preventative maintenance and track those costs over time and do a lot more of the preventative maintenance versus reactive. And of course, reactive maintenance also is part of this system. So it's a very, very well-connected system within what we're trying to accomplish here. It also does a lot of the facility condition index work that we've been doing as part of Beyond Boundaries to really establish our long-term cost of all of our buildings. The next item is $430,660, also using Bonds 2023 savings and interest. It's to purchase 7 SRO vehicles, including the upfit with lights and radios and all the things that we do for our police vehicles. And the last item is $365,000 out of our capital and contingency reserve to purchase 6 White Fleet vehicles, including their upfit as well. So one of those is 4 of them are for maintenance, 1 is for CTE, and 1 is for our transportation team. So we recommend the board approve the use of capital projects funds totaling $1,185,660 for facility and transportation related projects. So,
All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. I'll open it up if anybody has any questions. All right, so looking for a motion.
Mr. President, I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation to approve the use of capital project funds in the amount of $1,185,660 for facility and transportation related projects.
Thanks, Trustee Cunningham. All right, motion on the floor. Any other discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, no opposed. Next item to consider for approval.
Yes, so the next 3 items are to approve the contracts for the items that Mr. Miller just mentioned. So the first of those being Brightly software. Paul did mention that it's a 5-year contract that goes through August 31st of 2030 for that software, and we want to purchase it through our membership with the Omnia Purchasing Cooperative. Region 4 bid this, and it's a good contract, and so we recommend that for the estimated amount of $390,000 through, like I mentioned, August 31st, 2030.
Thank you, Mr. Crothers. All right. Any other questions? All right. Motion.
Mr. President, I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation to approve an authorization of expenditures with ILA Omnia vendor Brightly Software, Inc. in an estimated amount of $390,000 through August 31st, 2030.
Thank you for the motion. Any other discussion? No. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right. No opposed. All right. Next item consideration is the White Fleet.
Yes, so this is a contract that we received proposals on August the 28th. We received proposals from 4 vendors. We went through a review process with Transportation Department as well as purchasing, and we recommend the one-time purchase of the 6 White Fleet vehicles in the amount of $364,699 with Ron Carter Ford, using those capital contingency funds.
You mentioned Ron Carter Ford. Yes. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? So I do have a question. Were you about to make the motion? So my question about this was, first, I was happy to see the spreadsheet with local vendors. As soon as I saw this on the agenda, I was hopeful that we would see some local competition. Yes, these local businesses do support the students in the district. They support a lot of our programs, and at least kind of giving them the opportunity of to bid on it. Is the spreadsheet that comes out of all the committee considerations and everything when you're weighing it, is that shared back with any of the vendors?
Typically not, but if they reach out to us and ask us for feedback, then we definitely give them the feedback and give them the time to answer those questions as far as where they fell. And we often do get calls back from whoever submitted the vendors and ask how they stood and where they were at. So we're happy to give them a post-mortem basically on the contract and how it went and what they can do better next time, as far as generally it's sharpening their pencils a little bit, and this has been working. We reached out to 76 vendors through our IonWave software, and so you saw the ones that we did have a local participation, and that we were gratified to see that. So
yeah, and I'm all about the spirit of competition, and maybe this will be something for further discussion about considering sharing this back with them. Sure. When you send them a letter of declination, or however you let them know, is that here's what came out of the committees on everything we weighed, from the goods and services to past relationships with the district. I think it may be helpful, and again, for them to look at it, and one of the weights is purchase price. What's your contract? What's the offer? And again, the spirit of competition. It's, we don't always want to go with the cheapest, but we do want people to have some competitive, bidding opportunities.
Absolutely.
And for us to get the best price.
I'd to share that feedback with them, sir.
Yeah. So, with that, did you have something you want to add?
I just wanted to add, because I think I mentioned this during our finance meeting, and I guess the questions I'm going to ask you are kind of leading, but about 7-8 years ago, when we made the conscious decision to inform our local community on how to bid on government contracts and things of that nature, can you speak on that?
Yes, sir. So, and part of this is why we're going out and doing these advertised proposals for these vehicles at this time. Previously, we typically went through interlocal contracts that were already awarded and let, and which would save us some effort and some time and some money on the bidding side, but it didn't really include our local vendors, and so we did some outreach with them. Also, picked up the phone and called these local vendors to make sure that they knew about the opportunities and how to sign up with our bidding software. So we did. We definitely take the outreach seriously. We know how important our local vendor community is to us, and that they support our tax base and they support our school district in a lot of ways. And so we do have a constant reach out to that. And it's something that I talk about with my buyers as well, that, hey, let's see if we have anybody local that we can touch with and see if we can and get them interested in participating in our bid process.
And could you also comment on some of the things that go into awarding, a contract, whether it's, because a lot of times it's not necessarily the cheapest.
Right.
But when we look at our construction, contracts, it's the companies that are able to provide the labor,
right,
to maybe get a project done. Just like I think in this instance, sometimes it's not necessarily the purchase price, it's who has the equipment, who can get it to me in a timely fashion, et cetera. Could you speak on that?
Absolutely. So with regards to construction contracts, we have a weighted system where we look at the subcontractor specifically and make sure that we are grading the overall general contractors by the subs that they're using. Electrical subs and HVAC subs make a big difference as far as the quality of the project that we get and how well we're able to maintain those, and also to have the on-time delivery that you mentioned. With some of these vehicle purchases, there's upfitting that's involved with it as well as availability of vehicles that are on the ground ready for us to go ahead and put into service that we need now, as opposed to waiting for the order process, which has proven to be lengthy. Although the lead times are getting better, but it has been a consideration where we placed vehicle orders and had to wait 6-9 months before we could get receipt of those vehicles. And so it's something that we definitely take into consideration. We look at all the published factors out there, including our long-term relationship with the vendors. If they've done a good job for us in the past, that speaks well that they will do a good job for us in the future or going forward. And so that's one of the many things that we do look at, in addition just to the price, like you said.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So in the RFPs that you send out, you give them the way you score?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're well aware of what our top priority or the ranking and the percentages that is attributed to each factor.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Yeah.
Which goes in hand with my first question, which was, do we share this back with him? Because, one of the factors, and I think Trustee Cunningham's question about meeting the needs of the district, right? So the timeliness. Do you have the white fleet available? How long will it take? And the one that we're awarding was 2.5 points out of 10 higher than the next closest. So, under that factor of meeting the needs of the district. So again, I think it's those things to possibly consider sharing back with them and just saying, hey,
absolutely,
you didn't meet our needs. I mean, the one we gave it to was a 9.5 and the next closest one was 7.
Yes, sir.
Out of 10.
It certainly makes sense whenever you're dealing with a handful of vendors, like in this case, when we're dealing with some of the big instructional materials contracts, we have hundreds of vendors that are applying. It gets pretty bulky to try to have those conversations with all those folks. So we have to kind of, we have a certain amount of resources that we do have, but we do want to provide feedback whenever a vendor reaches out to us, certainly. And we're happy to share that out, especially when we're dealing with our local community, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. Motion? Anyone?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Cunningham.
I move that the board approves the superintendent's recommendation to approve the award of contract 2026.802 White Fleet with ZT Motors of Texas, DBA Ron Carter Ford, for the one-time purchase of 6 White Fleet vehicles in the amount of $364,699 with capital and contingency funds.
Thanks, Trustee Cunningham. All right, with the motion on the floor, any other discussion? No. Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, and no opposed. All right, last item up, the SLO vehicles.
So similarly, this is for the police vehicles that Mr. Miller mentioned earlier. This is the purchase of 7 vehicles. We received proposals on September 18th from 12 vendors, and went through a review process with our police, our deputies, as well as with our transportation, safe and secure departments. And we are recommending award of the contract to OC Welch Ford Lincoln for the purchase of those vehicles in the amount of $345,660. We had 104 vendors that were in our outreach on that particular bid, and this is for the purchase of 2 supervisor vehicles, 1 K-9 unit, and 4 patrol vehicles.
All right, thank you, Mr. Crothers. All right, any questions, comments? And I know you mentioned the K-9 unit. You know. So obviously we want to make sure Lulu's taken care of, right?
So it has some extra fans and some warning.
Yeah.
If the temperature gets up too high in the vehicle, it can warn us.
Good.
So it has a little bit extra upfitting there to make sure the dog's safe and comfortable.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know that's why I just mentioned, of course, you know, the canine. Obviously, you know, there are times when the canine's sitting in the vehicle, and we've got to make sure and take care of her.
Absolutely.
So, all right. With that, any other comments or motion? All right, Trustee Lilly.
All right. I move that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the award of contract 2026.803 police vehicles with O.C. Welch Ford Lincoln for the purchase of 7 police vehicles in the amount of $345,660 using 2023 bond funds.
All right, thank you, Trustee Lilly. Motion on the floor. Any other comments? No? All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, no opposed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crothers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, so at this time, it is 7:21. The board will now move to a closed session as authorized by the Texas Opens Meeting Act concerning purposes permitted by the specific Texas Government Code sections listed on the agenda. It is 8:10. We're back in session. And next agenda item are actions on closed session.
Mr. President, in accordance with Board Policy DGBA Local, I move that the Board of Trustees assign the employee complaint to a committee of the board at level 4.
Thank you, Trustee Mackay. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, no opposed. Thank you. And last agenda item is our district-wide intruder detection report.
There we go. So as we talked about in closed session, we did have an intruder audit finding in the district. We kind of went over all the details and the corrective actions. So yeah, any questions?
Yeah, and just for the record here, I understand that in part this stems from a reinterpretation as to the nature of the perimeter fencing we have around some of our facilities, and that we need to, going forward, we understand that we will protect as if it was unfenced anything that is within the 6-foot chain link fencing around our various campuses. So that is a change, and that's a way we can be more secure.
All right, thank you. Any other conversation, discussion? No? And I don't believe there's any requirement on any voting on that. So, okay. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. 8:12, meeting is adjourned.